Alright, welcome back guys to Impact for April 12th, 2012. I just got done watching this show, and man, that last segment with James Storm and Bobby Roode was amazing. I thought those guys did a great job hyping up this pay-per-view, and you really see that this is a really good story. Just the whole beer money thing, how they were friends and now they're enemies. Roode turned on Storm, and it was just awesome. But I'll get to that a little bit later. I felt the show overall, it's kind of hard to say. The last thing I saw was the promo, and it was awesome. But I felt like the wedding took a lot out of this show because it was long, and I did not like that at all. It was pretty bad. And I really thought there was only one good match on the show. Well, I guess the AJ Bully match was pretty good too, but yeah, I don't know. I just felt last week's was a little bit better, but this week's with the promo, it was a good show. But I think that wedding just took a lot of steam out of it for me. So they recap Bobby Roode beating Anderson last week and Hulk Hogan making the stipulations for the Eric versus Garrett team match. Bischoff comes out to the ring. He insults a fan. This guy was so intense, I thought he might have been a plant. I don't know, he could have been, but the fans chant, "We don't care." He says that the Bischoff name will live on longer than the fans. After they're dead and gone, his name's still going to live on regardless of what happens. He introduces his team for Lockdown. It's Bully Ray, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, and Gunner. Bully comes out and says Eric made a mistake having Garrett. They're doing a best of 3 match tonight for an extra man on the team, and the fans chant, "We want AJ." So Garrett comes out. He introduces Mr. Anderson as his first team pick, and then we get the first match of the best of 3, Anderson versus Gunner. I didn't think this was very good. Anderson refuses to stop choking Gunner, so the referee rings the bell and disqualifies Mr. Anderson. So they lose the first match. I thought the whole best of 3 thing was just very predictable. We see Eric Young getting ready backstage. Joseph Parks shows up. He asks him if he's got a prenup. Eric Young thinks he's talking about dogs. He asks if he's seen his brother Abyss, and Eric Young tells him that he saw him with Immortal last. Then we get the Motor City Machine Guns in the ring. They're just there, no entrance or anything. Shelley says they have been a team longer than Joe and Magnus. He says Morgan and Crimson's best move was rubbing baby oil on each other. And he says that Motor Cities beat Team 3D, they beat Beer Money, and they're not Curry Man and Shark Boy. So Joe and Magnus come out. Magnus puts over Motor City Machine Guns here. He says that they may be the best ever, but they're not the best today, and that they look ready, so we can go right now. Mexican America comes out. Joe and Magnus beat up Hernandez. Motor City beats up Anarquia. And then at the end they play Motor City's music, even though Joe and Magnus are the champs. So I thought that was a little strange, but at least they're doing something with this. The only problem is it's the go-home show, and this is the only thing that's happened. They just kind of threw the match on the show. It's Joe and Magnus versus Motor City for a title shot. Motor City instantly gets a shot for no reason, and that's it. And this is the only thing they've done to hype the match. Christopher Daniels versus a mystery opponent in match 2. Turns out Austin Aries is the next man on Garrett's team. Aries wins with a brain buster, and that was it. I did notice in this match, because I thought it was a good match, I would really like to see these two guys have a feud together. Personally, I would like to see it with Aries as a heel and Daniels as face, but just in general, I think these two could have an awesome feud. So they set up the cage, and Jeff Hardy comes out. He says Angle cost him the world title, and they're going to make history at Lockdown and hurt each other. That was it. We see a video of Storm and the Country Singers from last week cut a promo on Roode. Then we see Eric Young backstage with Rosita and Sarita trying to talk him out of marrying ODB for some reason. Then we get the wedding. This was a huge waste of time. They showed some kind of video montage with this weird song recapping Eric Young and ODB's history together. It was pretty strange. Rosita and Sarita come out. They try and convince Eric Young not to marry her one last time. They do kind of a striptease in front of him. He doesn't care. He decides to marry ODB. They all get naked. They get the preacher naked. The crowd chants yes, like Daniel Bryan. And that was it, really. They had all this time to come up with something for this wedding, and this is the best they came up with. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is just not very good at all. And they had so much time to do this, and this is all they had. And I was disappointed with this. We see backstage Flair talking Bully Ray up. Bully says he wants Flair to watch his back tonight. Then we see Roode with his entourage talking about how this thing between him and Storm is personal. We get Bully Ray with the entire Team Eric versus AJ Styles with Garrett Bischoff, Austin Aries, and Anderson for match 3. AJ's got those big ass gloves on again. Kazarian trips AJ, and both teams start brawling. Bully grabs a chain during the brawl. AJ goes for a springboard. Bully hits him with the chain and gets the win. Hulk Hogan comes out. He says what Eric did was predictable. I agree. He says that it's not 4-on-4, but it's 5-on-5, and Eric has 3 minutes to pick the next person to be on his team. Flair wants in and says he knows the 5th guy, or Eric says, I know the 5th guy is going to be Hogan, so Eric wants to be in the match because he wants to stand over Hogan's beaten body. He asks Flair's permission for some reason to be the 5th man. So Eric gets chosen to be the 5th man for his team, and Hogan says, I'm not the 5th man. The fans think it's Sting, but it's RVD. RVD comes out, and that's it. It kind of cuts away. I was wondering what the hell happened after this. Like, all the teams are out there, and then Rob Van Dam comes down, and then they just left? Like, did they just stare at RVD, and then they all just walked up the ramp together? Like, what the hell happened? But that was it. They show an awesome video package for James Storm versus Bobby Roode. Storm actually says bullshit in the promo, and they didn't censor it. And I thought this video package was really awesome. If you haven't seen this, you should go out of your way to see this, because it was just a great hype video for this feud. Then we get Gail Kim and Madison Rayne versus Mickie James and Velvet Sky. Taz is pissed that Velvet hasn't been doing the Let the Pigeons Loose gimmick where she bends over the rope. This was alright, I guess. Velvet wins with the double underhook facebuster on Gail. That was it. Then we get the last segment, which was phenomenal. It was Storm and Roode in the face-off. Roode has his entourage with him, but he tells him to wait. He gets in the ring alone with Storm. Storm talks about Beer Money's accomplishments. Roode says the Beer Money was one of the proudest moments of his life, and he can't pretend Beer Money didn't exist. He brings up the Bound for Glory series. Roode talks about beating Storm for the title. Roode says they were never friends. He says Beer Money was successful because of their passion for the business that they both had, but in reality they hated each other. He says James Storm supported his entire family off of Roode's talent. Storm says you don't sell your friends out for money, and Storm says he will beat him in Nashville. Roode says he doesn't care about Nashville. He doesn't care about Storm's hillbilly wife and redneck kids. Roode says that Storm is the one who needs luck because of his history with 2 dead brothers and a dead father. He has no luck. And that was it. The show went off the air with that, and I thought that was just pretty cold. But yeah, it was just a amazing segment to hype this match up. Really made it look special, important, and really felt like these 2 guys have all this history together, but they're ready to kill each other. And it was just awesome. So yeah, that was TNA this week. I thought the crowd was a lot better. I don't know how much they put in there, but because I know they put in like fake cheers and boos sometimes, but I thought the crowd seemed a lot better than they usually are for this. Like I said, I thought the wedding took up too much time. They could have used that time to build up Matt Morgan and Crimson. They could have used it to build up something with Hardy and Angle besides that really short promo Hardy cut. So I thought they could have done more with this show this week and really brought Lockdown home, since it is the go-home show. I mean, Eric Young and ODB don't even have a match on the show, so they took up a long time just doing that wedding. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I thought the best of three was really predictable. Heels win, baby faces win, heels win again, because the heels always are going to go into a Lethal Lockdown with the advantage. Whether it's they get the first, if they're doing the thing where one guy enters and the other guy enters, and then the heels get the first pick to go in next, the heels always win that, because they got to get the heat on the babyface. So I knew they were going to win the best of three. So I'm assuming Team Eric is going to have a 6-man at Lockdown because they won the best of three, right? I mean, they're not just totally dropping that. So if they're going with the best of three and they won, then whether it was 4-on-4 before or 5-on-5, they still get an extra pick, which will probably be Jeff Jarrett. So that was, it was okay, the best of three, I guess. I liked the last two matches. Anderson-Gunner wasn't that great, and I thought overall it was kind of predictable who would win. So that was it, really. I thought the show was okay, judging by the last segment with the promo between these two guys, and I think that I really wish more people got to see that. I know TNA doesn't get that many viewers, and it just would be awesome to have more people see that, because these guys did such a great job. People really need to see this, and it actually got me hyped up for the match this Sunday, which is good. So overall, I thought it was a good show, but it definitely wasn't great, and I blame the wedding for that mostly. So that was it. I hope you guys liked my review of TNA this week. I already got my Lockdowns predictions video up, so you can check that out if you want to know my thoughts on who's going to win at Lockdown. And I also have a bunch of other movie reviews up, and I will be back tomorrow with a review of the new movie Cabin in the Woods. And then Saturday I'll be doing the Ring of Honor TV show, and Sunday Lockdown, of course. So that's it for this week. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed, and thanks for watching. Bye.